welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about.
Hey, everybody. It is time for your Browns Friday Fumble.
Bowl on it!
Whoa, do not try to pick it up and run.
Welcome back.
But yes, welcome us back. But I'm going to start with a statement. That maybe listeners didn't know. The Friday Fumble all these years has been a joke. It's been a parody and a fun thing that we've done, and we've decided that after a dismal year of 0 wins, that the Browns might be fun and funny again.
Pure satire, folks. Always has been, always will be.
Early on, I would say that a lot of listeners did not understand that concept based on, I think,
a lot of the angry messages.
The tweets that Craig got were mostly how we knew. So, as we prepare to do a third season of the Friday Fumble, we decided to look back at what we had done previously, and what that turned into was way too long of an episode, so we divided it up, and we are going to recap for you some of the what we would call greatest hits. Now, if you don't think these are funny, then that's your problem, because these are guaranteed funny.
These are hilarious.
So we're going to introduce a couple of clips. We'll talk a little bit about them. But
Pull the curtain back a little bit.
We'll try not to make this episode too long because it's already too long.
Yeah.
But it should all be good stuff.
We will show you how the sausage is made. Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit of the sausage.
Just a little glimpse.
We'll show you a picture of the factory. Like, it's in there.
And say, this is where it comes from.
Where it's made.
These are the guys that handle it.
Yes. So first, we got to get some business out of the way. This episode is sponsored by Rodeo Poloha up in Middleburg Heights. So off to you. Hey, Cleveland football fans, come on down to Rodeo Poloha for your Cleveland football watch parties every Sunday during professional football season. We've got 6 big screen TVs, 8 medium-sized TVs, and 2 computer monitors that we mainly use for the point-of-sale system. But those have got to count for something, right? Every Sunday, we've got specials on wings, Moz sticks, poppers, choppers, Tate skins, Tate tots, Tate salad, and Tate chips. Not Sunday? No problem. You can come to Rodeo Poloha's any day of the week. Monday night, we've got dollar draft specials. Tuesday, it's buy 2, get 2 free draft night. Wednesday, dollar draft specials again. Thursday, all menu items at regular price. Friday night, half off the regular price $2 drafts. No matter what day of the week it is, you can count on a good time at Rodeo Poloha's Pub and Grill and Bar and Grill, corner of Watkins and Primpson Streets, next to the abandoned rallies in Middleburg Heights. Mention the Friday Fumble and get a draft beer for just $1. That's Rodeo Poloha's Middleburg Heights. So we wanted to start the episode out with a bang. We're mostly in chronological order, except for this one got slid up and a few things got slid back. This is our interview with Josh McCown. Now,
at the time, Browns starting quarterback.
Yes, this is 2015, so Johnny Manziel's heyday in Cleveland, as much as you could say heyday.
This is when we still hoped.
We still had hope, but we all kind of knew.
Yeah,
so this was
denial.
Johnny Manziel after his disastrous, I think 2014 was his rookie year, and he had his horrible, horrible start, but
right.
He was still here the second year, or I'm trying to block that all out. Mm-hmm. The funny thing that I realized in listening to this episode is that I believe we did this interview with a text-to-speech website, mostly because the rest of the episode, my voice sounded like crap, like I was sick or something like that.
Yes. This
was
later
to
in the season.
Fill time.
We were both sort of choking down coughs the rest of the dialogue, and
right.
Dave had a brilliant idea for a skit.
And I think it came out pretty good. So without further ado, our interview with Josh McCown. In other news, we have got a special interview this week. We were able to get a little bit of time with injured Browns quarterback Josh McCown.
Another exclusive interview.
Yeah, and so he is on the line with us to discuss the season and his approach to the game. Welcome, Josh.
Hello, sports journalist.
So, Josh, how do you feel tonight? How's the collarbone?
I am Josh McCown version 1.3. We apologize for malfunction. Unfortunately, part is out of warranty and it will be 6 to 8 weeks for replacement. McCown is committed to excellent customer service. Please direct all future contact to McCown at footballrobots.com.
So, can you give us an inside look into the locker room?
Coach prepares team properly every week without failure. Any failure is due to McCown. Coach is good. Protocol demands I must help team.
So how is Austin Davis looking, in your opinion? Will he be prepared this week?
Accessing database. Browns Cleveland position quarterback. Davis. Austin is performing admirably. Davis. Austin prepares well but can never know as much as McCown due to McCown 32 megabyte play storage capacity. But Davis Austin will try very hard to win game. Johnny not prepare. Johnny lie to us. Johnny get us fired.
So what's next for Josh McCown?
Browns Cleveland has purchased 2-year maintenance program for McCown device. McCown will not leave. McCown will be here until purchase period is over.
Can you give us some inside access into the locker room?
Accessing locker room directory. Programs available. Press conference response. Doc. Pettin's super secret program. Doc.
Well, I mean, I guess run Pettin's program.
Pettin rocks, yes, pen 15, Mike Pettin rules, dude, yes, Pettin rules, Ray Farmer sucks, whiners, Jimmy Haslam is dumb, Pettin rules.
Okay.
So, up next, we had a lot of great contributors on the Friday Fumble, one of whom
yes.
deserves $1 million for this, is our friend and now departed in a moving sense, not a living sense, but he moved to Philadelphia. Will Gibson, an amazing contributor to the Friday Fumble.
Got a few highlights. This is one of his...
This is the first one. And if you ask other people, at least at Waiting for Next Year, this is one of their favorite things. This was a week we were about to play the Denver Broncos, featuring in 2015 Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
And who do you think of when you think of Peyton Manning? You think of the now disgraced Papa John. So this is our interview with the not yet disgraced Papa John. Please keep in mind, he had not yet been disgraced. Otherwise, we would not have
represented by Will Gibson. Well, it's time for the segment that we all know and love.
Know your foe.
And the biggest insight that we have this week is actually a special guest, a bit of an inside source.
It's someone you may know. You
Well,
may have seen on TV.
as seen on TV. Papa John, the Papa John.
That's right, folks. We got him. The Papa's in the house via audio link up. So let us shoot it on over to the Papa. I saw he just came online. Let's hit it right now. Where you what? Okay, well, I apologize, but Dylan just got up and left and said that he couldn't be a part of this. So I'm not sure what that is, but on better news, the Papa's in the house. Papa John.
Dave, how are you?
I'm great. How's the pizza empire going?
Never better. It's a real great time for pizza these days. I know in Ohio they're talking about the marijuana coming up on the ballot. I sure hope that passes because it happened in Colorado and it's been great for business. I'll tell you what.
I bet. So, are you out in Colorado tonight, there, Papa?
I am. I just flew in earlier today. If you're in Cleveland, you guys know Browns Broncos coming up. So I hitched a flight out to Denver, and I'm excited to see the game, see my good buddy Peyton play.
I don't want to be the bearer. You going to catch the team plane over? Because the game's in Cleveland.
Cleveland?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
We checked the schedule. I got tickets to it. It's in Cleveland.
Jeez. Well, that's. So I was talking to Peyton. I was trying to talk to Peyton. You've seen the commercials. He and I are good buddies. We text back and forth. I mean, I text him mostly. He's busy. But I told him I was coming, and he didn't respond. So I figured it was okay. Oh, geez. Well,
maybe you could drive that muscle car that you bought.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, geez. Well, egg on my face.
Now,
egg on my pizza. I don't know.
Well, you're saying you like to text Peyton, but he's usually busy.
Mm-hmm.
So are you friends with Peyton?
Oh, sure. It's all. I don't even know how long ago it started, but he's done a lot of commercials for Papa John's. He's been a real ambassador. I remember, it feels like it was yesterday, and that commercial was on where he was saying, "Cut that meat." You remember it? You remember that one? Cut that meat. And I saw that, and I said, that is the kind of charismatic pitch man we need. And it was a great business arrangement. Every time he shows up on the TV, our numbers go through the roof. But he's a real good friend too. We do, we chat all the time. I call him up all the time. He doesn't always answer. He's busy.
Well, what do you guys talk about? Is it like what's going on in your life, or is it mostly kind of pizza stuff?
A little bit of everything. Most everything that goes on in my life is pizza stuff. I really enjoy my work, and I try to use my work to help him with his work, because football and pizza, they're really not so different. Better ingredients, better pizza, better players, better team. So I'm always giving him great ideas.
That it sounds like it. Now do you, if you're really good friends with him, do you ever see any of the other Mannings? Do you ever meet Eli?
Eli occasionally. It's funny. I asked Peyton. I asked him quite a few times to, give me Eli's number and Cooper's number and Archie's number, and he was nice enough to do that. We're all in a group chat together. Cooper's really the only one who gets back to me consistently, because again, Peyton's busy, Eli's busy. That's fine. I understand. I'm busy too, but never too busy for my buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we wanted to talk to you. I'm afraid my partner stormed out of here as soon as he found out you were going to be on,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe he's a Domino's guy. I can't tell.
Oh, his loss.
But we wanted to ask you, kind of as a Broncos insider.
Oh, sure.
Because of your relationship with Peyton Manning, we wanted to ask you some tough football questions. Are you ready for those?
Oh, I'm ready. Born that way.
All right. Well, Peyton really hasn't looked like himself this year. He's been, a little slow. It looks like his age is catching up with him. What do you think that can be attributed to?
That's a good question, and it's true. He hasn't quite looked himself lately, and I think I've got a couple ideas, because I've been walking around Denver this evening. Though I guess I'll have to find my way to Cleveland somehow. Anyway, but I'm walking around, and there are all these sort of new age namby-pamby shops and restaurants with their flaxseed milkshakes and whatnot. And I don't think that's the kind of fuel that a football player needs to perform at an all-pro level. I think a lot of Peyton's problems could be solved with a little more pizza. It's got everything you need. We really, we haven't gotten our campaign off the ground as far as pizza as a performance-enhancing food. But, we're working on some things in the test kitchen. And I think that's really would go a long way in putting that extra little pep in his step. Pepperoncini, if you will.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Peyton is getting up there in years.
Oh.
How long do you think he's going to stay in the NFL?
Oh, I mean, it's hard to think of the NFL without Peyton, I mean, he's been around almost 20 years. He's a real institution of the league. It's not so different from imagining, America's pizza landscape without Papa John's.
Huh.
Yeah. I really think we're pretty similar, he and I, or my company and his football skills. I think a lot of people think that, really. I bet if you just go do a little man on the street bit with your show here, I think you ask people, Peyton Manning word association, they'll say Papa John's.
That might actually be true.
I think so. You can have that idea. I won't even charge you for that one.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Coupons your way.
Great. Now, I know you've really only done business with Peyton Manning, and it's really not affiliated with the Broncos, but I had a few other questions.
Sure.
Browns, former Brown TJ Ward is on the Broncos, and this is going to be his first time back in Cleveland. How do you think he'll react this week coming back to his first original team?
Well, it's always tricky. I remember back when we were getting the company off the ground, and I was out on the road, with franchisees and that sort of thing, helping them get their business going, making sure, my fat head was on the wall in the correct place. And then when I came back home to the first one back in Kentucky, it felt a little strange, I'll tell you what. And I think some people were looking at me sideways, wondering if I'd forgot my roots. But I think TJ will remember all the good times here, because I sure as heck remember all the good times back in Kentucky. And I really think it's a similar situation, don't you think?
Well, he's not really setting up franchises. He just plays for a different one now.
Well, sure. But, wherever you go, there you are. Every city's a little bit the same in that every city's got a Papa John's nearby. All you got to do is, go to the website, check in the phone book, download our app. I think we have an app. I think maybe that's all he needs to kind of feel comfortable, settle his nerves a bit. Maybe he could buy some for the fans. I'm sure that would go a long way in smoothing things over.
A lot of the solutions that you come up with are kind of pizza-based.
That's true. Yes.
Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've paid attention too much to the Browns this year.
No.
How do you think the Browns are going to do the rest of this season?
Oh boy. Well, I think this week's obviously going to be a tough one against Peyton. I think, with how much trouble I've had getting a hold of him, I think lately that really means that he's in the zone. I think he hears what people are saying, that he is getting a little older, that he isn't quite playing at the same level. And I think he's really raring to go this week. So this one's going to be tough. But, Browns, they're a good, solid football team, good, solid franchise, a fine partner of Papa John's. We've got some deals every Monday if they win. And so I sure as heck hope they win. Because when they win, I win. And really everybody wins when I win because, pizza, right?
That's true. Pizza is the answer to a lot of things.
It truly is.
According to you.
Yes, sir.
Well, Papa, we really appreciate your time. Thanks for the insight into Peyton Manning and the Broncos.
Oh, my pleasure.
So thanks for coming on tonight.
Oh, Dave, I tell you, it was really a pleasure. If once we get off the air here, if you want to give me your home address, your email address, your phone number, any of those things, I'm happy to send some deals your way. Maybe a 50% off a medium one topping pizza of your choice. That's really, we like to give back at Papa John's.
That's a really generous offer, Papa.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Papa John, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again, Papa.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Intercepted by the Browns.
All right, so because of a little bit of my own quick thinking and sleight of hand in that previous clip, you may have noticed that Dylan wasn't in it. And that's because Dylan wasn't able to come because it was his anniversary.
Which
the funniest story about that
schedule.
The funniest story about that is he was still planning on coming over. And I said, dude, no. What are you thinking? So he was in the rest of the episode, but he just could not make it the same time that Will Gibson did. So I cleverly, like the clever girl I am, said that you walked out of the room.
Clever girl. Yes.
So
very committed, however,
yes,
to the craft.
Now I am committed to continuity. So if I was going to have you storm out of the room for the Papa John ad, there had to be a reason. And that reason was that you were a Domino's guy.
Yes.
And so this clip is also Will Gibson.
Pure brilliance.
And I'm going to take credit for the joke that Will Gibson pretty much did the same voice for the Papa as he did for J. Patrick, whoever, the CEO of Domino's.
Yeah,
yes. So this is Will Gibson.
Well, a little more though. I think one of the things that we heard was a frustration, especially and just personally for me, is I would never have an episode to point at because we were so serialized like that.
Right. Yeah,
where
exactly.
Each episode throughout the season was building on another once we got these bits together.
We developed our own little canon.
Right. And so Will coming back as Domino's, thank God for Will because he was able to carry it as a standalone bit.
Yes.
But not, a little context could have helped.
Well, this was the Seattle game. And so Richard Sherman had recently done a Domino's commercial.
Right.
So Dylan's whole focus of his interview was, okay, Papa John knew Peyton Manning, and Papa John talked about how much he talked to Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And Will did a perfect straight, no, we worked together in a professional way. I don't know
Brilliant.
anything about, so I won't spoil all the jokes. But here it is, Will Gibson as, I don't remember his name, the CEO of Domino's Pizza.
All right. Well, Dave, I've prepared a little something today.
Yeah, all you wrote in our episode outline is Dylan's segment 1.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's the thing. Do you remember a while back? In fact, we referenced this already tonight. The Broncos game.
Yeah.
Where we had on the Papa John.
Yeah, I also remember that you got up and stormed out during that, so it's not exactly a pleasant memory for me.
Okay. Look, I am admittedly not a Papa John's fan.
I know, you get very emotional about your pizza.
Yeah. I just feel, real strongly about Domino's. I feel like their pizza product. Look, I think it's only fair that if we're going to have a pizza product represented on this podcast, I feel as if we should allow equal representation, and that's why I've lined up a phone call with Domino's CEO J. Patrick Doyle. And you know what? I'm going to call him right now. Here we go. Hello, Mr. J. Patrick?
Yes? Who's calling?
This is Dylan Price from the Browns Friday Fumble. With me is Dave Sterling.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm not quite sure why, but
Gentlemen, what time is it right now?
Oh, well, it's late.
it's 11:30 ish.
Okay, but how did okay.
Now, okay, Mr. J. Patrick Doyle, CEO at Domino's.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Look, I know you live in Detroit right now, but clearly, we're going to be talking about the Seattle Seahawks. So I know Mr. J. Patrick.
You got to get to the question. I know you're not used to these interviews. You got to get to the question.
Okay. Yeah. I know that you and Richard Sherman must have become very close during the filming of that Domino's commercial. In your opinion, does Richard Sherman's on-field persona match his off-field persona?
Oh, God, I've got to fire my secretary. Gentlemen, so you're asking about Richard Sherman? Yeah, we've done some business with him professionally. We're very proud to have him, as a spokesperson for Domino's. I really can't speak to the on versus off-field persona issue. I can tell you that he was, the utmost professional when we were working with him. I'm sorry. Would you guys call me back in the morning, maybe?
Mr. J. Patrick, can you just
we're under a bit of a deadline. We really can't do that, actually.
Okay, all right, okay, that's fine.
We'll get out. Listen, we'll get out of your hair as soon as we're done here. How did he, and by he I mean Richard Sherman, how did he react when you told him revenues were up 19% in the 3 months to September compared to the same period in 2014?
Well, guys, we're very proud of those numbers. We hope it can sustain. We underwent a rebranding. No, honey, I'm just go back to sleep. I'll be done in a second. Rebranding. We're just Domino's now. We're not Domino's Pizza because we are proud of our other offerings. You may notice that the physical Domino has undergone a revamping. So yes, we're very proud of what we've done, and we think these numbers can sustain in a competitive marketplace.
I mean, yeah, clearly miles ahead of the far inferior Papa John's. Clearly,
we'd like to think so.
I think you're crowning them a little early.
Well, okay, so you're very proud of your kilometer, the calorie counting tool on your website. Can you give us some insight on Richard Sherman's training regimen?
I'm happy to talk about the kilometer. I can't really tell you much about Richard's training. Again, we finished recording those spots probably in about 6 hours. So, but while, again, we're proud to have him as a spokesperson, we aren't going to be spending Christmas together or anything. But, if you do want to hear more about the kilometer, I don't have it in front of me or anything, but you can go Domino's.com, the kilometer. There's a link right there under the menu. You can see the calorie input for all of our various offerings. I could tell you off the top of my head that one slice of a Philly cheesesteak Legends pizza is only 290 calories. So I feel like we get a bad rap as not necessarily the healthiest option. But, the kilometer, I'll let you do the research. No, I know it.
Mr. CEO, I know the FDA has come down on Domino's very hard. On putting the calorie count, speaking of, on the menu boards at a cost of a cool $10 million across all your stores. Now, would you consider in this scenario the FDA to be a sorry ass regulatory body, a la Michael Crabtree, while Domino's is clearly the best pizza in the game, and when you do that, that's what you get?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Mr. Doyle, last question. Can you give me Richard Sherman's phone number?
No, I've told you that while we had a professional relationship, we're not buddies. We're not texting. We're not, following each other on the Instagram. It's a strictly professional relationship, and I'm sorry to call your professionalism into question. But calling me up at 11:30 at night while I'm in bed with my wife, asking me for Richard Sherman's phone number. No, you can't have his phone number.
Is Instagram a new Domino's menu item?
What?
Hello?
How'd you get my phone number? It's a fucking secretary. I told her emergencies only. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
No.
I think we've been cut off. What was that? Did he know you were calling? Where did you get his number?
Okay. That really didn't go as I had planned. So
if you didn't know before the number of calories in a piece of Philly cheesesteak pizza, you do now.
God, that's all Will all day long.
In his email to us said,
I broke on that part, by the way.
Please ask me about the kilometer. And we went, all right.
You got it, buddy.
Just an example of the brilliance of Will Gibson. The next segment is short, but we wanted to include a little bit of something.
It was a regular.
It was one of those things that if we had a production assistant, I would have assigned to do this task of go pull some of the funniest. We did the Know Your Foe segment. Some of them we did more bits. There was a Baltimore Ravens one where you asked me about the Baltimore Ravens, and we made a joke about
one of my favorites,
Joe Flacco becoming a Muppet and
going full Muppet surgery
and
transition.
The Property Brothers, the Harbaughs,
yep.
And anyway, that slowly evolved into just making football player name puns. And
Right,
it was
right.
one of my favorite things.
Less thematic, more...
Yeah, no themes, except for this one, which was the Arizona Cardinals, who, in writing these puns, we discovered a little bit of a theme we could use. And so while it was a lot of work to call up a bunch of different clips of the funniest name puns, these were pretty good ones and kind of is the representative for the rest of the name puns, which would have been too hard to pull.
Most of the time when we landed on something that was this succinct, we would
juicy.
call it a day.
Yeah, so here we go. Some Arizona Cardinals Know Your Foe. Also, the first of Dylan's 2 tenure jokes in the run of the Friday Fumble. He loves that tenure.
Now, as you know, they are a college team, so they're very academically oriented, and they're led by their head dean, Bruce Arians.
Yes, Dean Arians.
And if you look at their offense, they really have a very literary offense. You've got F. Scott, his nickname is Larry Fitzgerald. You've got Lyle A. Seinlein, author of several sci-fi novels, including Starship Troopers.
Oh, my God, I love him.
And any fan of suspense, you all know that Jermaine Gresham has some amazing tight endings.
Also, Carson Palmer just got his tenure this year, so good news for him, and also they're never going to be able to get rid of him.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for them as he ages.
I'm never going to get tired of Jermaine Gresham being called John Grisham and his tight endings. So that is, the joke just lines up way too well. So, yeah, that was our representative of those. Now, next we have a very interesting segment, and one of the only times we did this, but we noticed one night, and this is, as Dylan said, we'd be pulling back the curtain. A lot of our kind of writing and production was based in us just kind of playing on our phones in my basement, just trying to delay the work as much as possible.
Time, yes.
Like no matter what time we showed up, we were finishing at 1:00 in the morning. Like it doesn't matter what
Didn't
time.
matter.
We could have gotten there at 2 p.m. We would have delayed until about 11:30, and then we would have started. Anyway, in messing around on our phones, we started to notice some really juicy
A trend,
yes,
of sorts.
and we built this into some themes that we did kind of throughout the season. But this was a Browns post on Instagram where they were announcing their uniform combination for the week.
Right. And this was the first year of the new uniforms.
Right, correct.
Or maybe it was the second.
So this continued a theme where Dylan and I had theorized early that based on comments like this, because people would always say, maybe if you focused on winning instead of the uniforms. So then Dylan and I developed this mythology about various people around the Browns front office and equipment staff.
Specifically the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, so the guy in charge of the jerseys is the guy in charge of the offensive game plans. And so in the one game we lost in overtime, since he had to make a new Robert Turbin jersey due to a trade, he was unable to make an offensive game plan for overtime.
That extended beyond like the initial drive.
Fourth quarter, all he had was as far as he got. And then since it was the second overtime week in a row, Mike Pettin told him, don't worry about it, we'll be fine.
We won't get to overtime, just work on the jerseys.
So that's the mythology behind the jerseys and stuff like that. And then we kept seeing this theme. So especially on these Instagram comments. So we decided to just turn these Instagram comments into phone calls, radio style.
Right.
Where we did a bunch of silly voices. And in one case, we had help on this one from our boss.
Our dear leader,
who we called our boss, Craig Lyndall of the waitingfornextyear.com podcast, the founder of the waitingfornextyear.com podcast.
Right.
He helped us out reading some of them.
Now, asterisk here, these are all real comments.
These are 100% real comments. And the thing I'm going to add to this, most of these people were also correct. Ray Farmer was a joke. Yeah. Johnny Manziel was a joke.
Oh, hindsight.
Oh, my Lord. It is true. So, more power to you guys, Instagram callers. So this is Dylan doing a bunch of voices, Dave doing a bunch of voices, Craig doing a bunch of voices, and one bonus, Craig doing one in pretty much his normal voice. And one where Craig starts in a voice and then ends on his normal voice. But they were all very good, and so we've split this up into two because there's a lot of them. So we'll get the second half of it later. But this is the first half of calls before a game against Cincinnati.
Enjoy.
You know what? The people of this town aren't going to stand for it.
Right. It's one thing here from us, the experts. It's a whole different thing when we go to the fan base, Dave.
Yeah, I can't guarantee you that they're going to say stuff that's really on the par with the intellectual level and football knowledge that we bring forth every episode. But we're going to try it. We, unlike those fellas over in Berea, made an investment. We bought a phone board. And we're going to take some calls.
Let's bring him in.
It's a phone board that's so fancy it doesn't make any typical phone noises. So you're just going to hear the calls. But let's take some calls. Let's hit that right now.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. This is Colin McCafferty from Solon. A watchable football team would be better.
Cleveland Flyer? Who cares? My Browns are a joke. The Stooges running the team should be embarrassed, and that includes Haslam.
Hey, this is Vanilla Gorilla. At least the team will look like garbage while they're playing like garbage, too.
Hi, this is John Q. Jones from Lakewood. I find it oddly distracting of you to try and take our minds off the dismal loss looming before you. It matters not which dress you put on, my friends.
Hi, Andrew here. Manziel is going to be sacked 7 times, and they're going to lose 34-3. Don't worry, Haslam and company. Have a plan. What a joke.
Hey, this is Kevin Platts. I just want to say that who cares what jersey we wear? How about winning some games?
I guess you're trying to make Johnny look bigger with the all-whites.
Yeah, this is Jake. Wish you guys cared more about winning than uniform combos. Hashtag stressed out.
Hey, Don Blackburn down in Akron. Close to traditional unis except for chocolate socks. Won't work. Browns need to bring back the traditions, including the unis and winning.
Yeah, this is Ralph Miller. All white, boring, just like the team. All hype over new uniforms, and this is what you pick? No wonder you're the worst org in sports.
Hi, Kurt Kiddig. LMAO, I feel bad whoever has to write this jug.
Hey, Rich Kaminsky, first-time caller, lifelong Clevelander. The Browns' new uniforms suck. They are Bush League and look something of a college team might wear. The Browns in these uniforms prove that you can dress a turd in fancy clothes, but in the end, it's still a turd.
Hunter? You mean one more day until we're 2-7? The Bengals probably didn't even practice this week. They probably sat home and watched Netflix movies all week laughing at the fact that they have to play us.
Hi, this is Charlene Kahn. The Browns need to stop worrying about the look and start drafting players who could play in the NFL, beginning with quarterback.
All right, so you just heard some, quote, phone calls, unquote. I thought they were pretty good, especially since none of them were fictional. Up next, another bit of business here. This portion of the show is brought to you by Middleburg Heights Hot Yoga, located in Middleburg Heights. Hello, I'm Hal Moldova. Do you have a lot of stress in your life? Are everyday problems that most normal people could probably take in stride holding you back? Are simple tasks bringing your life to a halt? Well, if so, it's time to connect your mind and body with candles and heat. At Middleburg Heights Hot Yoga, our instructors will teach you that by stretching, when it is really, really hot in a room, you can unlock all the potential your mind and body have. Some might say, you know what, Hal? Regular temperature yoga would probably work. I typically tell them, Maybe, but why chance it? So come by Middleburg Heights Hot Yoga this week and take our introductory preheat class for free. If you're not moderately to very sweaty by the end, we'll give you your money back. Please consult a physician before attending our hot yoga classes. Ask your doctor if you are healthy enough for hot yoga. Please wear deodorant, and not that BS natural kind. It's going to be very, very hot in here, so that hippie shit isn't going to cut it. Make sure your yoga mats and pants are able to withstand temperatures associated with hot yoga. So please, come begin the healing process at Middleburg Heights Hot Yoga, near the PetSmart and abandoned rallies in Middleburg Heights. All right, you guys all ready to head up and do some hot yoga? All righty. It's getting hot in here already.
Baby.
Up next, yet more brilliant work by Will Gibson. This is, I believe, and this is a theory because it was 3 years ago that Dylan and I are trying to come up with.
Yeah, it was about 3 years ago.
That at some point I started referring to Ray Farmer as Roy Farmer. And you could fact check me on this, but I don't know.
Not sure if it was in character or it may have actually just been a mistake.
I just don't know. But so we wanted to discuss Roy Farmer from GM.
And this was right after Fire Ray Farmer hashtag started to gain a lot of momentum.
And we were very much, when we started the podcast, the idea was we were Browns homers above all.
Right.
But so this is kind of the way it evolved, but in this case, we decided that Dylan had done a Bing search because we always did Bing searches,
right?
Because Bing is always funnier than Google. That's in the comedy handbook. Dylan had found a number for Roy Farmer, the GM,
or at GM.
So again, this is some excellent work by Will Gibson
and some great character building.
Yeah. This is building some lore right here, especially in our attitudes towards him and the movement to fire Roy Farmer.
And here's the thing, because we were throwing him curveballs the whole time. And
he did not have much preparation.
None
from this.
None.
I think
gave
we
him
had
a name, a name and a location and sort of the premise, but the questions. We were asking him specific roster details, and he would turn it around. It was magnificent.
He also had the hold music queued up on his end.
Yes, that was.
So.
Oh, great!
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Our interview with Roy Farmer from GM. We know you've heard a lot this week about the Browns front office. Of course, at 2-7?
Ugh.
Yeah, at 2-7, seats are getting a little, toasty. It's not just because you've been sitting on them for a while. It's, the heat has been turned up. They're on the hot seat, meaning their seats are starting to get a little bit hot on the hot seat.
Not seat warmers.
No, that's in a car. That's in that Chevy Cruze we talked about last week.
Exactly.
These are the hot seat as if there was heat under the seat.
Right. So we actually decided, you know what? It's time that we advocated on behalf of our listeners and the fans in this city.
Sometimes we like to joke around and have a little fun. But you know what? We're journalists. We demand to be taken seriously. And we have lined up a special exclusive interview for the Browns Friday Fumble with the Browns GM, Roy Farmer.
Right. I did a little Bing search and found his number. And so, I don't really have anything else to say to set this up. Do you, Dave?
Well, I have one more thing to say. We're not going to ask him, hey, what's your favorite food? We're not going to be one of those junior reporters that the Browns have that ask what they're going to be when they grow up. That's nonsense, and we are tired of the nonsense. So we're going to ask Roy these hard-hitting questions.
and we're going to hopefully get some answers for you guys. All right, I am dialing the number now. All right.
Good afternoon, GM Customer Service. This is Roy. How may I help you?
You know what? Right off the bat, I love you. You know that we're the customer. This is great, Roy. This is Dave.
And Dylan, thank you so much.
We're here from the Browns Friday Fumble. Thanks so much for taking the time tonight.
I'm sorry. Do you have a question? I mean, I'm sorry. What is your call regarding today, gentlemen?
You're Roy Farmer, right?
Yes, sir.
The GM.
From GM, yes.
Yeah. So we got some questions for you tonight.
We do have.
And you know what? Usually we're a pretty friendly podcast. We've decided to get kind of tough journalistically, so I hope you're ready. So right out of the gate, the question that our fans are demanding we ask: do you think Mike Pettin is sabotaging the development of Johnny Manziel?
Sir, I'm sorry. Do you drive a General Motors vehicle?
That's irrelevant to this discussion. Don't dodge the question,
okay.
Sir.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question? I'm just trying to figure out how I can help you today because this is being recorded. I understand.
I feel like you're being hostile and evasive.
Oh, no,
very early.
Sir, not at all. I apologize. And we strive to bring the utmost service to our customers. I apologize for that. Please, how can I help?
Thanks, Roy. Go ahead and ask him again.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think Mike Pettin is sabotaging the development of Johnny Manziel?
I'm sorry. Was Mike your sales representative at GM?
I really feel like, I mean, I liked it when you said that we were customers because that's really a good attitude. But then to be this evasive on simple questions, let's move on. You know,
let me try.
It's a hot button issue in the locker room. I understand you're not going to answer it. Fine. You've made your point.
Okay, Roy. Hi, this is Dylan.
Hello.
Can you evaluate how Danny Shelton is progressing this year? Do you think that he was worth the high draft pick spent?
Sir, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know who this Danny Shelton is.
How can you not know who Danny Shelton is?
So gentlemen, could you please hold for just a moment? A supervisor is requesting a moment with me.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
A little unprofessional, but
okay.
Sure.
Pardon me.
Yes. I feel like he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I feel like he's just being kind of evasive.
He didn't know Danny Shelton.
Yeah, he picked him.
He must have done months and months. He must have had a binder with Danny's name.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know what this thing about salesman...
Okay, gentlemen, I'm sorry about that.
Yes.
I'm afraid it was a misunderstanding on my part, and I'm very sorry about that. Our mission is to provide you with superior customer service. Your satisfaction is our business. So, I'm sorry. You were asking about Danny Shelton?
Well, if
kind
that
of in the same vein,
it's kind of in the same vein as that. Another one of your high draft picks, Justin Gilbert, despite his high pick, seems to only see the field special team situations and when the squad is almost depleted with injuries. How could you call that a success?
Did you say Dustin Gilbert? Because we have a Dustin Gilbert in the office here. Is that who you're inquiring about today?
Must be a typo on your end, but I think we're talking about the same person.
Okay. I've been happy with him personally. I mean, he just started last year. And as with anybody, there's some growing pains, but I feel really been an asset to us. Have you done work with him in the past?
We every week, once a week, we see his work or sometimes lack of work.
Regular
and it's I can't call it good.
Well, that draws me to my next question that leads in really well. So we're talking about Gilbert and his evaluation. Do you specifically use a Belichick-style scoring system when you're evaluating talent?
We do at GM have an evaluation system that we go through with every employee. Usually at the end of the year, at the end of the first calendar year as well of employment. I'm not sure what it's modeled off of per se. But we feel it is comprehensive, that, it helps us understand,
how we are delivering our product and services to the best wishes of our customers. So I
that's a lot of legalese and mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like I'm out of my depth on that one.
Yeah, I feel like you're just trying to kind of try to outfox us there.
No,
you're the GM.
No,
so.
You're the GM. So going forward for 2016, would your strategy be more of a build through the draft mentality, or do you feel that you're ready to take a more proactive approach in free agency and really make a splash?
Is this in reference to what models we have planned for 2016? Because
they're not really models; they're players.
I mean, if you want to,
you could consider them players. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your roster for 2016.
Yeah, well,
how do you feel that's gonna go?
I think our roster is looking very strong for 2016. We have a lot of established products that people have enjoyed for years.
I feel like dehumanizing them by calling them products is a little bit offensive.
Maybe that's part of the evaluation system.
Maybe you have to keep that in your head separate so you don't get too personal. But
I do understand that, and again, I apologize, sir, that people do have a very strong connection to not our products, but our offerings, and that is something we take pride in that there is such a unique bond between the customer and GM. So I understand where you're coming from there.
So, okay, so let's talk about one of those products as we have been calling them. So Dwayne Bowe, one of your products, got a $9 million contract, but can't seem to find the field in a very weak receiving core. Who is making that call?
Sir, I apologize once again, but I'm afraid is that a dealership in your area? Where are you calling from today?
Well, we're Cleveland metro area.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
We're not downtown Cleveland or anything. We're kind of in the suburbs. But.
Yeah.
Well, that is. I do believe I'm in Fort Worth myself, but I understand that we do have some locations in the suburbs.
You out scouting?
I'm sorry. Scouting.
Wondered why you wouldn't be in Berea.
I'm sorry.
You know what? We're not getting anywhere with this. I think you're being difficult. I think you're dodging the questions. I don't think you're answered any of the fans' concerns. So I'm just going to ask one more question. The
most important question.
The most important question. We fielded a lot of phone calls about it last week. Favorite uniform combo.
Favorite uniform combo. Well, that is something I feel better suited to answer. It depends what context you're speaking about. If it's out on the showroom floor or in the back. Myself, I'm partial to the servicemen wear a really sharp blue ensemble. A little name tag over the left breast. And I feel it really connotes a certain image that we're looking to portray. And it's really part of the GM brand.
You know what, Roy? I really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I don't think this is what we were after. I think you're not really taking us seriously as journalists.
No, not at all. I apologize. I'm just, I'm struggling to determine which part of the conversation is germane to General Motors.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Struggle, I think, is the right word for it.
Yeah,
Roy.
You're really struggling with a lot of things.
buddy.
I
think, honestly, I think we're out of time.
Yeah, we appreciate the time you did give us, even though I don't think we got any useful information out of it.
I'm happy to direct you to another department if that might help.
No, we've spoken to a few other departments over there already. So, again, thank you for your time, and I don't think we're going to be very kind to you in the commentary to follow.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
We'll see the products, I guess, this Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see your products this Sunday, sir.
Well, gentlemen, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'd be happy, to call a follow up. Maybe set you up with some coupon certificates for maybe an oil change. If that would help, again, I'm very sorry for this.
I saw the other day. I did see in your car. It's ready for an oil change.
Yeah, I am ready for an oil change.
Okay, we'll take you'll get our information.
We'll speak about that later. Well, gentlemen, I thank you very much for calling GM. I'm sorry I couldn't help with everything, but we'll take care of that oil change, and you both have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Hey, thanks. All right. Next up, I don't even know how we got the idea for this.
I think it was laziness. It was pretty late in the season.
But also, I think we were just, not even laziness. I think we were about to play one of the teams again. We had already used all of our puns.
Right.
And so we had the idea, let's go back to 1999, the inaugural year of the Browns. And it opened up a whole new possibility of jokes.
Yeah.
And so
we've stumbled on some similarities between the two seasons. I think they're both 2 wins. A lot of hope.
Yes. And so in this one, the number one, we had 90s music playing under the whole episode, which is a lot harder to do than I thought it was going to be when I decided to do it.
Oh, yes.
And so even in this interview here that we're about to play, there was Time Bomb. There was...
Everlast was in there.
Yeah, What It's Like by Everlast.
Mm-hmm.
Save Tonight by Eagle Eye Cherry. And then it ended it with
Doing It
by Ladies Love Cool James,
Mm-hmm.
LL Cool J.
Mm-hmm.
So that was playing under this interview we had with our dear friend, and I think this is the only bit of his from this season that we used just because of time constraints and how early the other one was in the season.
Mm-hmm.
He later became Pal Allen, Browns Friday Fumble favorite. But this was his second appearance on the show as Chris Palmer, Browns head coach in 1999, who we paged while he was doing some lunar bowling. Enjoying some pizza and Bud Dries.
Yes.
Because all the references happened in this
there
episode.
There was a little Y2K talk in there.
Some Y2K, and all of our questions were about 1999 current events because we did all the references.
Oh, yeah, and the roster breakdown and the divisional opponents at that time, by the way, included the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. Also included, I believe...
the division-leading Jacksonville Jaguars.
The AFC Central division-leading Jacksonville Jaguars, because they were in the AFC Central.
Yep.
Also, there were 6 teams in the division.
Yep.
Because this was football in 1999. Also, I don't know if this was the first one because I don't have a canon expert, but a good solid mention of Ron Dane, Browns Friday Fumble royalty.
I believe that it would. I think it is.
Running back Ron Dane.
Yep.
Who has since gone on in every draft special to be legendary. So, Chris Clem, big friend of the show, and big contributor, mostly in later seasons as Pal Allen and a few other characters. He also, earlier in the season, played Ed Murkowski, the head groundskeeper at
the Raiders Stadium.
At the Raiders Stadium, who had refused to paint the 50s gold. That was an excellent bit, but we were not, Dylan and I were not up to it.
We were not tuned.
Yes, that was very early in our season, and he was much better than we was.
Yes.
We were.
Penultimate professional.
Yes, so there you go. So Chris Clem and us in 1999, featuring Eagle Eye Cherry. Here you go. All right, we got a special guest coming up. I just paged him, waiting for him to call him now. Browns head coach Chris Palmer is going to be here. We just have to... put it in 911. Yeah, I guess I'll send him another one here with the 911 in it. Let's give him a minute. I heard he's lunar bowling right now, so let's give him a chance to get to a payphone.
Love lunar bowling.
Yeah, me too. It's really great.
Probably playing some Destiny's Child.
Yeah, hopefully. I just, I like, sometimes even when the bowling's done, I like to go and play some Iron Man Stewart off-road. Oh, hello, Coach?
Hello, is this the hospital?
No, sorry, we kind of tricked you. This is the Browns Friday Pick 6. This is Dave and Dylan. How's it going?
Hey, Coach.
It's going fine. I was told that this was an emergency and that someone I knew was in the hospital. I don't appreciate this interruption, if I'm being honest.
Well, it really wasn't anything about someone being in the hospital. We sent you the text code for call us, and it's an emergency, but
Well, I just assumed. I'm sorry. I was in the middle of an intense lunar bowling game, and I just got interrupted, and I thought something happened to my family, but it's just an interview. That's fine.
Okay, good. Great to hear it. How's the game going? Have they played Fat Boy Slim yet?
They've played a lot of popular music. I am mostly into the lights and the colors more than the music itself. But I'm on my third game. I'm on the 6th frame, and I'm going for a record high. I've got 113 already.
Ooh, pretty good.
Thanks.
Picking up a couple of spares.
Now, unfortunately,
yeah, a few.
Unfortunately, have you seen some of the new state-of-the-art graphics that they're doing there? I mean, in my day, you just had to score yourself, and now it scores automatically for you, and you get that bitchin' dragon whenever you get a spare, zapping the pins.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of cool things. There's a bull that comes and knocks down some of the pins, and there's a beer that comes in and knocks down some of the pins. It's pretty exciting stuff. It's almost like New Millennium type stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, we're all excited for that around here too.
It's like lunarbowling.com, you know?
Oh yeah, that's one of those. That's one of those internet things.
Yeah. So, Coach, I don't want to get serious, and I don't want to bring down the mood too much because obviously you're having a good time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just a little upset because I thought it was the hospital, but if it's just an interview, I got my game on pause. I told my buddies I'd be right back, order another round, so I'm fine.
You getting some Bud Dry?
Yeah. It's good.
Good.
You enjoy that?
I do enjoy a good Bud Dry, although I'm only 19 years old.
Oh.
Don't tell my parents.
I won't. I'm only 52. Don't tell my parents.
All right. Well, let's start the interview here. Unfortunately,
I'm actually only 50. I lied.
I don't believe you now, but so you're currently in 6th place in the AFC Central.
Yeah, we're still got plenty of time to move up, though.
Well, you're not really where you want to be. I bet you feel a little bit like Alien Gonzalez right now.
Well, I don't feel like Alien Gonzalez because I want to be here coaching, and I'm in the place to make it happen. Much like he is in America to achieve the American dream, I'm here to achieve the dream of taking the Cleveland Browns to the Super Bowl. So I'm still here. I might be in the wrong place, but it's the right place in the right time. Am I making sense to you?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit. So you're saying that you're not leaving even if Special Forces guys with guns come in to try to take you out?
I'm saying that as of now, I might be on the wrong way on a one-way track, but at least I'm on the right track, right?
Yes, I agree.
All I got to take is turn it around, but this train line is still happening. It's still in the right direction. I'm still on the train. You got to buy a ticket, but we're there. We're still competing, and it's just a pleasure to be in the National Football League.
All right.
So moving over to current events, Coach, you saw what happened with the protesters ruining things in Seattle at the World Trade Organization meetings. Anything like that ever happen around Berea?
Well, there's been a few disagreements, but we're all on the same page. It just feels like, if I'm being honest, you could cut this part out, right? We're not live right now, are we?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, well, we got a 7-second delay on AM radio, so you're fine.
Well, hit the dump button because a lot of times, I'll be frank with you, I've had a few Bud Dries. I've been bowling for the last 5 hours. It seems a lot of times like no one can help me now, and I'm in too deep, and sometimes I just think there's no way out, and this time I have really led myself astray.
Fair enough. October 12th of this year, researchers declared that the 6 billionth person on Earth was born. Are you telling me you can't find any better running backs?
I don't get that question. I think we have a very solid, strong core of running backs on the Cleveland Browns currently.
I understand that Terry Kirby had a really good game last week, but I just don't know how much longer you can expect him to play.
You guys are young, right? You're high school kids or a little older?
Yeah, I'm 19, yeah.
Okay, you've played that NFL Blitz game, right?
Oh, love it.
Well, Terry Kirby's pretty great in that game, and I don't see why that's not transferable to the actual football field.
Good point.
That is a good point.
Good point. Coach, have you taken a look at Ron Dane yet?
I didn't make up the stats for that game. That's all I can say. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, that's fine, Coach. Couple Bud Dries. So, have you taken a look at Ron Dane yet?
Yeah, get another round. Yeah, don't worry, I'll put it on the credit card. Thanks for the reminder there. I'm sorry. What was your question?
The running back coming up just won the Heisman, Ron Dane. No-brainer, right? But, Coach, whatever you do, real quick.
Okay.
Do not go anywhere near that backup quarterback from Michigan, Tom Brady.
Tim? I don't even know who you're talking about. I don't make those personnel decisions, but I do know that Ron Dane would be a perfect fit for the kind of smash-mouth offense we want to have here at the Cleveland Browns. And I think if there's one advantage he has over other running backs is that he's bigger and wider, and he's like a battering ram. And I think that we could even add a couple more pounds onto him, make him even harder to stop once he gets to the NFL.
I agree. And, you say he's a perfect fit here. I think he's a perfect fit wherever he ends up. That's one of those sure things.
Well,
100%.
He's got to be a favorite to win Rookie of the Year next year. Hey, don't blow my turn. Let me wait till I'm done with this interview. Up 2 minutes. Sorry about that.
Sorry, we really apologize for keeping you from the bowling. You're probably
it's okay. My buddy's playing a prank. He just turned around and put the ball under between his legs, and it was a straight gutter, and he's trying to make me take credit for that. And
that's a classic. I bet it looked great in the strobe lights too.
Oh, it's pretty cool. The lights, they have these little planets that come down on the lane. They look like Saturn, and it's pretty exciting stuff.
So, you're obviously a little disappointed being 2-10 at this point. But you're probably not as disappointed as Hillary is with Bill, am I right?
You won't get me to comment there. I'm a happily married man, and I don't know what it's like when that kind of stuff happens. There's no interns at the Cleveland Browns organization.
Coach, I want to get serious for a minute.
Sure. Sure.
So it's on everyone's mind.
Can you hold on 1 second?
Yeah. Okay.
Don't eat all that pizza. I'm going to have some of that as soon as I get over there. Yeah. No. Hey. Don't say that about me. All right. I'm sorry.
Coach, I think we really need to address this. It's on everyone's mind. It's everywhere in the news. Is your staff Y2K ready?
That's more of a front office question. You're going to have to get Carmen Policy on the line or somebody like that, because I don't handle any of the computers. As a matter of fact, I draw up all our plays on legal pads, and I fax them to all of the players' home fax machines. I don't trust the email. I just do it old school. I think that's the most professional way. And honestly,
email. It would take so long to send those documents and download each play. I think fax is still the best way to go.
Well, fax, you just put in the phone number and it's there. Email, you have to put a symbol. It's like an A with the circle around it.
The circle A, yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't trust that type of stuff, and frankly, I think yellow legal pads are never going to go out of style, and I can't imagine a time when there'll be a better way than hand writing down plays and making laminated copies.
I can't see a better system for that either. I do have one more question, and I wasn't going to ask this because I didn't want to get into any controversy, but the NFL has...
Don't do that anymore. I'm serious. I'm almost done. I'm sorry. They just put the ball between their legs again. These guys are just too much for me to handle.
Well, I have one last question, and there's no word officially. There's just some rumors going that the NFL is going to get into banning some of these. But what's your policy for your players as far as using some of these advanced beverages that are now on the market, like Josta and Surge? Do you like your players to be influenced by these sorts of drinks, or do you like them to play kind of straight up natural?
Well, I gotta let you guys know this might be a little secret, maybe why why he's such a good player. But Jim Pine drinks about cans of Josta before every game. I'm a big fan of it.
So you really, what happens if the NFL, as they talked about doing, bans the Guanara route?
Well, we've seen Mark McGuire fiasco.
I've looked, and there's nothing in the NFL rule book about guarana or any sort of sugar. Those are not listed as performance enhancers. I mean, you could ask Antonio Langham. He loves the Josta too.
Well, that's good to know. And the last thing I guess we're going to ask is, it's all been a big change up north for you guys, and we're a little bit farther south here. It's been a little bit of change for us, but how does it feel calling numbers that are in Cleveland that aren't on a 216? They're in 440. What's up with that?
I don't know. I remember when I was growing up, there was only 4 numbers and a letter at the beginning. My home phone number was Klondike 4782, and I don't even understand why they need so many numbers.
I mean, how many people have phones? Everybody's got the one.
You got a phone at home, and then if you're real well off, you got a car phone. And as a matter of fact, first thing I bought after I became an NFL head coach was a brand new car. I got a Saturn with a car phone built right in, and I felt like a big shot, let me tell you.
I think you finally arrived, Coach.
Yeah, I did. And I get in a race sometimes with Kevin Johnson. He's got a Ferrari that he drives to practice, and I'm like, you might have a Ferrari, but I got a Saturn, and this is a quality automobile.
Hey, it's a different kind of car company, Coach. We know. Well, we're not going to keep you from your pizza and Bud Dries any longer. I hope that Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza is good. We really appreciate you being on the show with us tonight.
I just got to say, guys, if there's kids listening right now, just always keep this in mind. Help remember how to smile, make it all somehow seem worthwhile. Don't get so jaded. Life's mysteries just seem faded, and you can go where no one else can go, and you know what no one else knows, and you're just drowning in the rain with a ticket for a runaway train. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Hope you enjoyed that blast from the past.
You'll be singing, doing it all day long.
I represent Queens. She was raised down in Brooklyn. Next up is something that has become much more relevant in the recent 2 years because of Myles Garrett. But we decided after the Browns' win over the Tennessee Titans, which included an amazing Gary Barnidge touchdown catch, in which, I'm just going to say it, this is where I coined the phrase, catch it with your taint. And we decided almost randomly, you're allowed to laugh on mic. Oh. You're allowed. This is where we decided randomly to have a Browns poetry slam where we wrote haiku about the Browns' victory over the Tennessee Titans.
Yes. Also relevant is prior to this season, Dave and I both purchased one of Danny Shelton's Lava Lavas.
Yeah.
Which
I'm still disappointed.
Poor Danny.
Well, someone we've got I'm not even in the fantasy football league anymore, but the fantasy football draft coming up, and one of the other people said, "Oh, are you going to wear your Browns skirt?" And I'm like, first of all, it's a Lava Lava. And second of all, no, because he's on the Patriots now. So here you go. This is the Cleveland Browns Poetry Slam. Ball game, victory, perfect day. And that has
made us shift gears on the Friday Fumble.
We've taken things down about 3 notches.
That's not to say we're not enthusiastic. It's just how we express ourselves now. For we would like to take you on a journey.
A journey into your soul.
We have decided to host the first ever Browns Friday Fumble Poetry Slam, featuring 6 haiku on the Browns' victory.
I'd also like to take this moment to point out that the plural of haiku is also haiku.
Very good point.
So, Dave, why don't you take this opportunity and start us off with your first composition?
Okay. Our QB is old, but he can still play the game. Such a defined chin. Okay, Dylan. I got the ball rolling. Let's have one from you.
Pizza Lunchables. Running back catching touchdown. Isaiah Crowell.
That was excellent. I've got another one here. Working man's tight end. Throw it near him, he'll get it. Catch it with your taint.
That one was lovely.
Thank you.
Lava Lava Me. Swim move, sack, tackle machine. Lava Lava You.
That was lovely. And it really got me into the moment. Cool, calm, collected. The kicker looks like Jesus. He kicks like him too.
I can really tell that you poured yourself into that one.
Yes, why don't you round us out with our finale haiku?
Jim Dre catches balls. Gary Barnage catches balls. Jim Dre has the feels.
You know, I really enjoyed that, and I can't wait for another game to really inspire us like this.
So this next segment, no real magic into how we decided to do this one. Dylan just had a friend who sounded like Russell Wilson.
Yeah. So this one features my buddy Kevin Matheny, and who seriously is a dead ringer for Russell's voice. And I think it was the height of the Russell-Macklemore partnership.
Correct.
So
and Microsoft Surface tablet.
And when the Seahawks were real good.
Real good. And, yeah, so we liked to build our own mythology that, you know, the NFL knew who we were. And so Russell Wilson did not want us making jokes about his team.
Right.
And he let us know about it.
Yeah, in no uncertain terms.
Yes.
Were we not to talk about his team.
Yes. So here we go. He left us a few voicemails that got pretty nasty. This next segment is another one Dylan wrote, Dylan's segment 2. Dylan was adamant this week that he would cover the Seahawks roster. Usually we go through it together. We sit there with the depth chart and the roster, and we take a look at what the Browns have to face this week. But Dylan, you wanted to branch out on your own, so go right ahead. Let's see what you got.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at the roster for coming up this week. Not a lot has changed since their Super Bowl victory, and they just look like a great squad.
You don't have anything critical or funny or
well, you can't be too critical with a squad like that.
Well, there's plenty of things. Cliff Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, man, they just look great.
Hold on, let me shut this off. What's going on? The board shut off. You can be straight with me.
Okay.
I think it's shut off. Yeah, it is. The light's green. You're good.
Listen, I got some voicemails, Dave. I don't even want to play them for you.
What?
They just. Oh God!
All right, you need to play these for me because I want to know what you're dealing with. Who are they from?
They're from Russell. Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. What?
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. Just
all right.
listen.
Well, hold on. Let me listen to the first one.
Hi, Dylan. This is Russell Wilson from the Seahawks, the former Super Bowl champion, Russell Wilson. Now that you know who I am, I want you to know one more thing about me. I don't fuck around. Don't fuck with me this week. Tell your fucko friend Dave.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh my
God! It gets so much worse.
It gets worse than that. Okay, let's play this other one.
Dylan, former Super Bowl champion Russell Wilson here. I told you no shit this week previously, and I wanted to make sure I was understood. I know your family, and I know that you think I'm nice based on my Macklemore commercial. I assure you that is incorrect. I remind you, don't fuck with me.
I can't even listen to the last one, Dave. Just listen without me.
Dylan, this is Russell Wilson country. I am Russell Wilson. I'm the monarch in Russell Wilson country. I assure you, I do not take that title lightly. I have the former Super Bowl champion resources that will allow me to find you and ultimately destroy you. I wanted to let you know that option exists in large part due to my partnership with Microsoft Surface Pro. You think the ring is the only thing that gives Russell Wilson when Russell Wilson wins the Super Bowl? Don't fuck with me.
Well, I'm not sure where to go at this point. I guess we'll respect his wishes. So then we turned our attention back to the great Will Gibson and had him leave us some voicemails in a similar vein, but this time as this week's Kansas City Chiefs opponent, Alex Smith, who ended up being a little bit of a nicer guy.
Sort of try to take a page out of Russell Wilson's playbook, sort of a allegory.
Yes,
but
it's a little bit. The story turned a little bit. Also, in this episode that we did was not included in this because we're already running long, as you know, because you're listening.
The trip to Seattle.
Our trip to Seattle, where Russell Wilson took us around to Starbucks,
Menchie's,
and
P.F. Chang's.
And P.F. Chang's.
The sights.
The sights of Seattle. And then we didn't get to go to the game because we took the Amtrak and had to leave right away.
Right. That was our one road game that lore supports.
One per year. So yes, here we are with Alex Smith, played by Will Gibson, sending us some not so threatening voicemails. Now, this week we got a little bit, and I don't really want to send the message that this kind of stuff works, but we got a few more voicemails this week. This time from Alex Smith.
Yeah.
They're a little odd. They're not really. I mean, I was downright frightened by Russell Wilson, and he got us to change our ways. But
let me just tell you, I'm just feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Let's.
It seems like he was trying. Hold on. Let's let them speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Here's the first voicemail.
Dylan, Alex Smith here. I heard that my friend Russell gave you a call the other day, and you didn't mess with him. Well, I just want to say the same thing, except I'm saying that my name was Alex Smith, not Russell Wilson. So obviously, I don't care if you mess with Russell. I mean, I do care. He's a nice guy and everything, faithful. But anyway, I'd really, really appreciate it if you guys didn't make fun of the Chiefs or me this week. So just me or anyone on the Chiefs. There's too many Chiefs that are juicy targets. There's too many Chiefs that are easy to make fun of. There's too many Chiefs, but not enough Indians. Take care, Dylan. Bye-bye.
So it seems like he kind of backed off.
Yeah.
Or got distracted. I don't know.
One of the two.
He seems like he doesn't want us to talk about the Chiefs, but then kind of gets a little distracted at the end, making kind of a dad joke.
Yeah, well.
Hey, more power to him. He is a dad.
Play the second one. I think that fleshes it out.
This is where he really gets,
Yeah.
Hey, Dylan, this is former Mountain West Player of the Year, Alex Smith here. I want you to know that when you win Player of the Year in the Mountain West, you get a really nice plaque. So now that I think of it, it isn't very threatening. Still, I would really appreciate it if you didn't mock our team. I mean, come on, man. 2003 Liberty Bowl, remember that game? You can't argue with that. I had a lot of fun that year. We got a nice trip to Memphis, had some barbecue. I'm rambling now, but, have a great Christmas, you guys. Please don't make fun of us. This is Alex. Thank you. Bye.
So I'm kind of wondering why you wished us a nice Christmas.
Yeah, that was kind of a 180 there.
It's almost like he got distracted midway through it somehow.
I mean, I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's, very nice.
Yeah.
But again, the thing that I don't quite understand is the huge mea culpa to come. So let's play the third one.
Right.
Hey, Dylan. It's Alex Smith calling again. Really feel like a heel here. So I was standing there, just at home. I noticed my wife Liz and my boys, Hudson and Hayes. They were running around. I just realized there's too much violence in this world, man, and I really don't need to be a part of it. So I called Pastor Tim. I told him the situation. I told him how I was feeling, what was going on. He suggested I apologize to you all. I didn't mean to fly off the handle there earlier. As much as I wish you wouldn't mess with our team this week and just treat us with respect, I need to conduct myself in a more professional fashion. So I apologize. I really love your guys' show. Can't wait to hear your interview with the CEO of Pizza Hut. I'm just really, boy, am I sore. I'm sorry. This is Alex. Bye-bye.
Now that's just downright kind.
That is downright kind, but you know what? We got to prove that you can't just call us and intimidate us.
Right.
You can't. I mean, Russell kind of intimidated us. I think we kind of regretted it later.
Yeah.
Because even for that Cliff Avril-Lavigne joke would have been
gold.
Cam, Chancellor of Germany. Yeah.
Well, he laughed when we told him that one in Menchie's.
Yeah. He practically spit nerds out of his mouth.
Yeah.
But
look,
we can't.
I'm sorry, Alex.
We can't let this go. That all you got to do is call us, and we won't rock 'em sock 'em to your team.
Alex,
so.
I know you're listening right now. Look, I'm sorry to you and the kids, and Liz, but we have a job to do.
We got a job to do.
Just like you're not going to apologize for trying your best to win out against the Browns come Sunday.
Yeah. What a nice fella that Alex Smith.
Oh man, turns out thankfully Pastor Tim was there.
He's got him on the right path. Next up, we have the remainder of the Cincinnati calls.
Round 2, and this one has a treat.
This one has a treat right up top. This is an actual comment left by a Cincinnati fan, read verbatim. We want to re-stress these are all
verbatim,
100% real. So enjoy this from the Natty.
Hey, it's Zach Miller from the Natty. Hey, they look like crap. Glad I worship the Bengals. Pooh-wee. Anyone smell that? It's the stench of the Cleveland Clowns in town. They always blow, but they're even worse this year. If you can imagine that. Our awesome coach Marvin Lewis was right to call Johnny Manziel a midget, and he gonna throw 6 interceptions and get sacked 20 times. Bengals score easy on every possession and win 65-3. If I see any Cleveland dog turd fans at the game, I'll knock him out and draw blood. Who day? Go Bengals. John Royster from Canton. Who cares? They're going to lose anyway.
Hey, this is Tim Dutry. Cute outfits. Maybe you should start playing like a pro football team and less worrying about what to wear like the Kardashians.
I like everything about this uniform except the orange numbers and the brown socks.
Hey, this is Joseph Gaisler. Why do people still waste their time with this garbage product? Sell your season tickets and stop watching. That would send a message. Oh, and Farmer is an absolute joke.
Steve Richard here. You losers are going to loose your game on Thursday night.
Tom Martin, Streetsboro. Do they all get pregame manicures and facials? Shakes my damn head. Hey, this is Jamie Peros. Maybe put a little more thought into the game plan and less on the fashion, and maybe we could win another game this year. It's becoming harder and harder to support this laughing stock of a team. Hey guys, Roy Vonelman, thanks for taking my call. How about a W in the win column? Try that for a change. Good grief. So much attention in Mickey Mouse BS. I wish you put that much effort into the draft and on the field. Please, is this season over yet?
Hello, Ruth Branson Hughes here. Okay, they've proven they are the, quote, best-dressed players in the NFL. Can they now start showing that they could play football? They're not models.
Hey, Tim Cyphers, Tremont, I'll be there. Please don't get blown out.
Hey, this is Jeff Sabula. Why do this organization keep posting their uniforms for each game? We don't care. Seems to me that there should be other priorities, like winning. Hashtag don't get it.
Hey, this is Don McFelly. Who cares what they wear? That's a woman thing. Just friggin' win.
This is Colleen Panko. Shouldn't we be focusing on what we need to fix it to win a game rather than what color uniforms we wear? Just saying. I think it's more important things to report on. I'm a huge Brown supporter, but it sure is getting hard to find anything positive with the program.
This is Terry King. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Who cares about the jerseys? Start winning games.
This is Gavin. I got a beard. Polish that turd.
Hey, Frank Donahue, brother of Phil Donahue. So how is this going to increase their chances of winning?
Hi, Laura Henning here. How about your next photo be of our new GM?
All right, last little bit of business here. We are brought to you, of course, by BUZZMaster Bee Sting Supplement. Hey guys, you're looking pretty rough lately. I used to be like you, big fat gut, pants don't even fit, hair falling out. What a total loser I was, and you are. But then I found the secret that made me lose 30 pounds of belly fat, made me grow thick natural hair, and made my woman happy as well, if you know what I mean. You don't? Well, it means I'm good at sex now. You want to know my secret? BUZZMaster Bee Stinger Supplement. This is an all-natural, mostly, supplement made of ground-up bee stingers, orange peel, secret herbs and vitamins, and a dead hornet. 7 of these bad boys a day have me pepped up with more energy than I've had since I was 25. Well, guess what? I can get you a free bottle of BUZZMaster pills, but you have to call within the next 30 seconds to get this deal. We have someone monitoring when this ad is played, so they can tell you if you are eligible or not. So if you act fast, you can finally get your shit together, dump that extra weight, and maybe your spouse will reconsider dumping your loser ass. Jesus Christ, you disgust me. But if you want to not discuss me anymore, just call 1-800-BUZZMaster-WORKS to get a free bottle. But you have to act within the next 30 seconds. Oh, the 30 seconds are up. You have to pay full price. But as worthless as you are, how can you not scrape together $20 to turn this thing around before you just give up once and for all? Try BUZZMaster today. All right, guys. We are to the last clip. And this one, I decided to go a little bit dark because the subject at hand was Pittsburgh football. The Browns were at the end of an exhausting season. They were playing for nothing but perhaps the ability to spoil the Pittsburgh football playoff chances or seeding or something. I don't even remember. We were very bitter, very angry. The opening bit of the episode was Dylan and I thinking that since it was past week 16 and there were only 16 games, that the season was over. And then we got a call. I did a one-sided phone call with Craig, who asked us about the episode, and I'm going to toot my own horn on this. My favorite was when on the one-sided phone call I went, "No, we played them already." So that was a good joke by me that I'm just going to lay out there, and I hope you're laughing now. Anyway, this was at the end of the Know Your Foe segment about Pittsburgh football, about the Pittsburgh fans, and we will leave you with this. So thank you for listening to this recap episode. This all is going to lead directly into week 1 against the Pittsburgh football. So keep this clip in mind as we prepare, and then we will be back in a week with a brand new Friday Fumble. We will explain everything and get you ready for the opening of what should be a memorable Browns season. So once again, thank you for listening. Thank you to all of our compadres who helped make this happen.
And our loyal fans.
Yeah, you guys too. If you're listening to this and you're this far, you're a hell of a fan. So to Dylan, the only other person who will have listened to this far besides me, maybe Chris.
And my children that I force.
That you force. And my 1-year-old who I will also force. Please enjoy this clip and this season. Thank you very much from the Friday Fumble. I would encourage you to fall on it, and I would encourage you to not pick it up and run.
Well, this time of year in the NFL, it's all about playoff positioning and the playoff push.
Postseason performance, playoff pushing.
So the Pittsburgh football is looking for a little bit more cushion for their playoff pushing. And it turns out, by no fault of their own, the Browns are right in the thick of the playoff race.
Not as any sort of participant.
No. That is not the burden we bear. We are here to do what we do best, and that is spoil things. And this year, we have the chance to spoil hopes and dreams of every Pittsburgh football fan there is. That's right. We have the chance to cause sadness to prevail in trailer parks and weekly rate motels across all of western Pennsylvania, leaving downtrodden, toothless frowns and laundry hampers filled with the wrinkled Bettis jerseys and laundromats everywhere. May the Pittsburgh license plate frame, covering the nearly expired 30-day temporary tags on the rusted-out Chevy Novas, be stared at in agony by meth-tainted eyes as the driver walks out of the dank hellhole where he viewed the game, a stupid yellow towel being thrown in the back seat as the haggard driver gets in through the passenger door because the driver's door hasn't worked since 2011. He swears as the engine fails to turn over. Looks like he's walking back up the godforsaken hill to his rat hole motel. Usually, Pittsburgh football are the only light in this poor soul's life. But today, he faces the grim reality of his own pathetic existence as the Browns, the lowly Browns, have killed off the playoff hopes of his team. Thus, any chance at happiness for at least 3 months until Big Ben visits the local giant eagle to stare into his dead eyes and sign his robotic signature, one of 1,000 that day, and say, "Hey, thanks for coming out, Chuck," as he shuffles past the folding table set up near the meat. And he'll go home, and he'll sit down on his uncomfortable, unmade bed, and he'll smile, a toothless grin, for the first time in months. So may our Browns fight bravely, as this is the Browns' playoffs. Might they lose? Perhaps. Will Pittsburgh fans be insufferable regardless of outcome? Most assuredly.
coming. There's change coming.